heard you like your radio just like you like your coffee.
A lot of persons have said it's that time the power shifts to this region. You know, we have Obasanjo for 8 years, we had Yar'Adua for 2.5 years, then we had Jonathan for 6 years. Now we have the president running for his 8 years now. And, you know, PDP, we have a northern candidate already. We have a southern. So some people have said the power should shift to this extent. It should shift here. What's your take on that? Where do you think the power should shift to?
I believe that power should shift to the people.
Who are the people?
The people who should enjoy, the dividends of democracy. There is no part of the Nigerian constitution that says that power must be shifting on a geographical basis. The most important thing is to have a qualitative argument about leadership. All these people you have mentioned, Obasanjo was president of Nigeria for 8 years. He couldn't construct a road from Lagos to his farm in Ota. You understand? Jonathan was president of Nigeria for 6 years. What did Niger Delta people get? They are the most vilified people, and they call them oil thieves. You understand? Because he didn't build any schools. They didn't even complete the East-West Highway, that he met in there. They did nothing. So people should stop voting for people based on where they come from. It should be based on what they have to offer. And if you look at me and the kind of life I've lived, it doesn't have any ethnic coloration to it. If there's an injustice against someone from the southeast, I'll jump on the case. If it's against Shiites, I jump on the case. If it's against students, youth, I jump on the case. You should vote for the guy who cares about you, not the guy who is from your neighborhood, because these other persons have truly shown that they don't care about their people. I am one of the few candidates that has never been a governor before. The four other guys that are on the front lines or that are frequently mentioned have been governors for 2 terms. One was the vice president for 8 years. One was the governor for 2 terms and is senator now, I think, for 7 years. They have had nothing to offer. The guy who was in Kano, Amajiri, 20 million schools out of school. How do you vote for those people to go and, on a rotational basis? The person who is there today is from the north. Even his home state, Katsina, you can't go there. His own people, are they benefiting from the rotation of power that went to wherever he came from? Let's not reduce, the question of governance.
Okay, so
these rudiments of manipulation by politicians, because very soon they'll come and say it should be the turn of the Christians. It should be the turn of the
We're
Muslims.
also fighting that war.
So when it's going to be the turn of the non-Christians and the non-Muslims, it's just very petty argument about.
Why Haruna Magashi? Why did you pick him as your vice?
All right, but before he answers that question, so we have a caller on the phone. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, guys. My name is Ifeanyi. Good to have you on. Great. Okay, I understand you have Mr. Sowore.
Yes,
we do.
Okay, great. I would want to find out from him. Yeah, he's run a couple of times before on a presidential bid in Nigeria.
Only once.
Just once.
Okay, sorry, once.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah, sorry about that. 2019. Yeah. And after the election, there was a back and forth with respect to his party. There was serious allegations against him of fraud in the party, and he couldn't even manage his party successfully, even though it was a relatively unknown party. So how do we trust the presidency of Nigeria to him if he could not manage the party? At some point, he claims he's the chairman of the party. At some point, he's the presidential candidate. He's been going back and forth with issues. And also, while he was a student union leader, his tenure was emerged in controversy all through his tenure. So someone with this kind of posture and mindset, how could we trust the governance of Nigeria in his hands? Thank you.
Thank you so much. You heard the question.
Yeah, I heard the question. Of course, they're all lies. Let me start with my student union days. I was the student union president of the University of Lagos Student Union here in Lagos between 1992 and 1994. There's no controversy about it. The only controversy was that we were against military rule. I was arrested several times. I was expelled from the university for being against the military, and also expelled from the university because I fought against courtism. Anybody who attended the University of Lagos knows this. The information is public. So why come on national radio and tell a cheap lie? But that's fine. This political season, I understand. With regards to our party was established by me and a few others in 2018, August specifically. It was registered. And a few months later, up to February, we had participated in an election. But that it is typical of the Nigerian state. Any party that is progressive, they go in there and try to hijack. They hijacked the party from us using one of our members. We didn't do anything but go to court. We went to court, and the appeal court ruled that they were wrong to have recognized him. The reason was that the party was used in Rivers State to try to unseat Wike by Amici and the rest of them. And we rejected it. We said, no, these candidates, we are not part of this. It's on record. So Wike went and bribed this guy so that he would support him in
You use the word bribe.
Yes, of course.
And you're sure that he bribed?
No, I'm a journalist.
Yes, sir.
I caught Wike on phone before bribing INEC officials. The INEC officials went to jail. It's on
What
record.
year was that?
It's on YouTube. I don't remember the exact year, but we caught him on tape. He was phoning INEC. He said if they don't deliver the election to him, he'll kill them. They were arrested and tried. So everybody knows Wike as the chief bribery officer of Nigeria. But so
that's a very strong allegation.
It is.
In your own words.
It's a lawyer.
Okay.
He can sue me. I'm saying it. And I'm a public figure. And I can present this in court that this is your voice. You were bribing INEC officials. You see, part of our problem in Nigeria is institutional memory don't exist. We just don't remember things if they last more than 2 days, sometimes 2 hours. Otherwise, we won't be in this problem. And the fact that we don't teach history in our schools is the reason why Nigerians are celebrating the Queen, who died yesterday. And they forgot that 5 million Biafrans were killed by her acts alone during the Civil War. We don't remember anything. And when you don't remember anything, it's easy for you to perish. So I go back to the party issue that he was.
Yes.
The party. We won the election on June 2nd. In Court of Appeal. On June 2nd, the party was restored completely to us. The judges said they were alarmed at what INEC did by recognizing people who were not legitimate leader of the party. But they needed to do that because while I was in detention, they went and did a kangaroo convention. And the guy claimed to be chairman of the party. He was removed from the party. So I was the one who established the party, the original chairman of the party. And when we came back from the convention, we went for presidential election. We were recognized by INEC. If you go to the website of INEC, our names are there. So when people come online like this and say you can't manage a party, which party in Nigeria today can be managed? Is the PDP not in crisis?
I'm talking about crisis.
Is the APC not having its own crisis? Yeah. Internal affairs of parties are not a determination for qualities of, especially when there are outsiders interfering inside these party affairs. But look at where I've always stood. Started the party, never left the party. Even when the party was not available, I stood and fought. That's why I'm different. I'm not like these other politicians who sleep as PDP. The next day they wake up, they have become APC.
All right. There's this question that just popped into my head. The fact that you've been the chairman, the person who started the political party,
yes.
you run as presidential candidate,
yes.
and then you're still running.
Yes.
Doesn't that say a lot? Like, okay, you're the chairman or you're the head, you're the owner of the party. Let's put it that way. You're the creator.
I don't want to put that so because other people
are there. So is there no person that can also stand out and be while you give the person support?
Absolutely. Even I have stepped down as the chairman of the party during the last election. But we are going to have a special convention. And I've said it, I am not going to continue as chairman of the party. The special convention is coming up. Had they not hijacked the party, we would have done the convention and changed the chairman. I'm not interested to become a perpetual chairman of a political party. I love my freedom too much.
So how do you handle being the chairman and also being the presidential candidate?
Right now, I've ceded the chairmanship position. I've stepped down from it. But I will be honest to say that I still run, I sign documents until that period where we have a convention and the chairman is legitimately elected. So, but in terms of day-to-day activities of the party, no, I'm a presidential candidate. That's what I'm doing, and that's why I'm campaigning this time. But most importantly, the party has a constitution that allows for you can be a candidate and be a party official. That's in the constitution of the party. Nothing is violated. But I see what the point you're trying to make. That it looks like you have an owner's syndrome.
Yes,
but I just want to clarify that. lot of people have been chairman and candidates of their party. It's not a problem. But I've explained to you what you need to know about.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
All right, good morning. Welcome. What is your name?
Yeah, my name is Cyril.
All right. All right, Cyril, you have 40 seconds, quickly.
Okay, now you guys are having Sowore in the studio, right?
Yes,
Exactly.
sure.
Okay, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, please, I have to ask you a question, please.
Go ahead. I think.
As a journalist, area reporter, somebody walking to your office, you submit the CV, you look for the job, and you go through the CV. I think you would like to know the experience of that person. Where as the person has been working and all of that, how many years of working experience and all of that.
All right, so you need to get to the point.
Most respect, you are coming to become our president. Please, don't you think that experience matters a lot? Because politically, you have never become a local government chairman or a councillor or a senator. Don't you think, sir, you could have started somewhere first and gain that experience before you come to national level to occupy the office of presidency, sir?
Okay.
All right. Thank
you
you very much, sir. That is the same question that OK James also has here on Twitter, where he's saying that you do not have a single experience with regards to governance and you want to become president.
Well, what is experience? It's public service. I've been in public service, but not government, for 32 years, 3 decades. What was the most important thing in the 90s for Nigerians? The struggle for democracy. I participated in it. I went out there, spoke, marched. I got into trouble, got into prison. And Nigeria had democracy in 1999. Experience, what other experience you need apart from the experience that I don't have that I'd like to talk about? I don't have experience in stealing, killing people, kidnapping, connivance and conspiracy against Nigerian people. If the experience they are talking about were to be helpful to Nigeria, then the former presidents under military who ran for office as democratic president would have turned Nigeria around. We will be like the UAE now. But the experience is the inverse kind of experience people are talking. When countries need great leaders, they go and look for people with character. That was how Mandela came from detention, jail. 28 years after he was in jail, they brought him out to lead the first democratic experience in South Africa. Obama, that all of you talk about a lot today, started first as a community organizer.
Good morning.
You understand? So there's no reason we keep talking about experience when you have seen what experience has done to your country, has turned it into a sham and a disgrace.
Okay. Hi, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Please, I want to ask you a simple question, please.
Go ahead.
All right.
Time is up.
Quickly. All right.
Please, as an economist now, how do you handle it? Now, dollar is almost 700 and everything now, rice is almost at something thousand. Even ordinary tomato we buy, you know how much we buy it before as local sources. How will you handle it so that all this will be okay for 4 months to get? Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Ojimichi.
Yes. What our economy is lacking is proper management, transparent, honest management. Because there are two components to it. There's the issue of macroeconomic policy that is being shortchanged. One of the most important policy in the macroeconomic sector is how you control your currency. Today, the Nigerian naira has 3 different exchange rates. That's a scam. You don't need 3 exchange. What our macroeconomic managers are doing is just flipping dollar. And if you don't get rid of those, you are wasting your time.
Where does the central bank? Where does the central bank come in this?
The macroeconomic side of things, and that's why the first thing I would do as president of Nigeria is to turn around the Central Bank of Nigeria, put people who are competent, who understand the political economy that we want to operate in, which is to invest in our people. And then the other good things that must happen before you can control and have a good economy is you must invest in your people. You cannot have great economy where you close down universities for 7 months a year, because the people who are going to run the economy in the future are out of school. You can't have economy when you don't have power, you don't have security. You must invest in all these sectors.
All right.
And the investments must be in Nigeria, not outside
abroad.
of Nigeria.
Okay. Hi, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. This is Obina calling from First Stack. I'm Wonderful.
All right, welcome, Obina. Go ahead.
Please, I have a question for your guests. Not very simple question, very simple. Number one question is, what if you win this presidential election now? What will be your action towards Sunday Igboho, Nnamdi Kanu, banditry in the north, Gumi, NMPC,
Okay.
NEPA?
NEPA.
What will be your action towards them? They are the people holding us now. We are divided in that aspect.
Yeah.
No light. With no
You have a cocktail. Let's just take it one
Yes,
after
let's
the other.
take-
And very
yes.
quickly too.
All right, Obina, thank
You
you.
know, Nnamdi Kanu, Sunday Igboho, they are products of the system, injustices. They are fighting to say, look, we are tired of this Nigeria, we want out of Nigeria. You cannot solve the problem by putting them in jail. You are just wasting your time. Even if you kill Kanu today, another Kanu, or probably more solid Kanu, will come out. But look at it. Just the excitement that the election might produce some kind of justice is getting people to even step away from those fringe positions. I will free Kanu, he's my friend. The first thing I will do in office, I free him, I apologize to him, rehabilitate.
You apologize to him?
I will apologize to him.
You don't think some of the things that he did before
If
Bill.
he did anything by now, they would have been able to prosecute it. They would have presented it in the public. I know how government operates. They lied against me that I collected $100 million
Yes,
from
I saw
Dubai.
that.
I've never been to Dubai before. Never stepped on the soil of Dubai. I only had twice, transited through Dubai to Australia and Kenya. When they collected my passport, they saw that I've never been to Dubai. They went and removed the charges of money laundering. They never said it to the public. So government has a way of lying about people. Like the guy they arrested now yesterday from Egypt.
Yes.
You only hear their own side of the story. You have not heard this. When you hear his own side of the story now, you'll be shocked that he didn't do any of those things. Oh, we found some military hardware in his house. Why do you allow him to travel to Egypt?
But before you before you release them,
Yes.
would you want to have a conversation? Maybe you
I
have
will.
a proper court
Absolutely.
instead
I
of just.
want to have a conversation with them. I want to sit down with them. What do you want? How can we resolve this problem? You understand? That is very important. You see, in countries around the world, any act of banditry, terrorism that has lasted for 3 years needs more than one approach to solutions. Even some of these terrorists, we need to talk to them, hear them out. Why are you doing this? That doesn't mean that we will not secure our country. We will still go ahead and militarily secure the country, get police to go after people. Because the failure of security that has caused this problem, mostly economic and social security. Most of the guys who are bandits today are the people we didn't send to school when it was good to send them to school. If you close university for 7 months now, you are already preparing another banditry and terrorism crisis for the future. Because when students don't graduate, they will find a way to survive. The 20 million kids that are out of school, those are potential terrorists in the future. It doesn't mean that if people go to school, they cannot become terrorists. Because those who are managing our economy, they are economic terrorists too. And they are bleeding the country more than Boko Haram.
So what do you intend to do with education? Seeing that
Massive
is that
investment. In fact, there has to be a declaration of a state of emergency in the education sector as soon as we are sworn in. Then invest heavily in it. Part of why the state of emergency is needed is to have that ability to invest in education, investigate what's happening there. By 4 years in office, we must be able to reduce the number of out-of-school children. Like I've always said, and the way to break it down, it will be a crime for a parent not to send their child to school. It will be, there are also rights to go to court to seek economic relief if the government refuses to provide schools for their children. And I am not interested in universal basic education of using slates anymore. We have to be able to prepare our kids to be able to cope with the rest of the world.
Okay, so these things are said until you get into the seat of power and you look at how much Nigeria is owing. I'm sure you've heard that story back to back, and how much we're making as a country. It's easy to say, okay, we will do this. When you get there and you see the results, how do you deal with this?
You see, everybody that has come to Nigeria in my lifetime, 7 presidents I've seen, always said that Nigeria was broke. But when they leave office, they become rich. So how do you become rich from a broke system? Because most of them always break the banks of Nigeria. The money that we need to take care of our needs on a yearly basis, they are budgeted for. if the Accountant General steals 150 billion from the budget, you have already dislocated the budget. So these monies are there. I am not saying that we have all the money we need to turn Nigeria into Eldorado overnight. But look at countries that are surviving or that are doing so well. It is when the leaders decide to make the sacrifice and they bring in competent hands, they hire good people, they stop stealing and bleeding their country. The countries work. There is no reason, and I said it's just a small example, that Lagos-Ibadan highway should be reconstructed for 30 years. It has never happened before anywhere in the world. It's still under construction. I met Lagos-Ibadan Express Highway reconstruction in 1987 when I first came to Lagos. This is 2022. It's still under reconstruction. We have paid for that route probably 40 different times, budgeted for. But what is happening? They just steal the money. They even damage the roads so that they can get more money. When you have such selfish, wicked, incompetent, soulless leaders, you will always be broke. When all your economic agenda is to take care of the greedy, I've never seen a greedy man who is ever satisfied. You know.
I asked this question. The North, politics is a question of numbers.
Yes.
And the North has got two strong people who are, they're going to brush themselves up. And I was expecting you coming, maybe getting someone from the North who is also very strong. And you seem to have found, according to what you say. Yes. But do you think Haruna Magashi is somebody that can, go head to head with people like Atiku and people like Kwankwaso?
What is interesting about the North is that the South don't understand the North completely. Northerners have always looked for people of integrity. That is why it was easy for Buhari to scam them. They call him Megaskia.
Megaskia,
Yes. And that's how he got his 12 million votes in every election season, until they found out that he's Manafiki, Banza.
We're going to say we didn't ask him to say that.
I'm saying it. I put it on my Facebook all the time, But I don't want you to get in trouble with NBC.
Thank you.
Which, by the way, we abolished when I become president. No reason for NBC. Yes. Let it be on record.
NBC, we didn't even ask him to say that either.
Yes. NBC, you are hearing from me. You will not exist when I win presidency of Nigeria. I am saying that the Northerners are actually very, very interested in credible candidates. And Mogashi is a human rights lawyer. He's a lawyer that fights for the poor. And he works in the city of Kano. Kano has an interesting history of going with underdogs. That was how Aminu Kano became a popular politician in Kano. And this is what Mogashi has been doing. Yes, we have money bags, but we are not doing an election for money. We are doing an election for freedom of the people. And Mogashi's been doing that. It would interest you. We shouldn't hide this because it's known. He's a lawyer to the Shiites. He's one of the lawyers to ex-Zakizaki. So he's very popular also in those circles. But I'm just saying that it's important that we don't restrict our options because of money. Because it is money bags that took us to the bag that we're in now. And, they tied it up.
So for your political party, the vice is also... I wouldn't want to call him this, but probably the world will look at because he's the lawyer for the Shiites. Yeah. You know how some people also view the Shiites and El Zakzaki. Yeah. Would you say that two controversial people? Because
he's not controversial. Okay. I don't think that anybody in the North hates Shiites.
No, not hate.
Yeah. Because there are 10 million Shiites in the North. Unfortunately, they don't used to vote. If Shiites vote in Nigeria, they will be determining election results in the North. A lot. But I heard that they have now also set up their own political commission because they have also discovered that elections or non-participation elections have consequences. If they were a political force as much as they are, a social or religious force, probably they wouldn't have taken them for granted the way they did. That led to the killing of several of them in that unfortunate massacre that happened in Zaria. So But there's no controversy there. He's a lawyer. He fights for human rights. Just the same way Femi Falana is also a lawyer of the Shiites. Just the same way I sympathize and work with the Shiites. I have sympathy for the rights of self-determination groups. Sunday Igboho, Nnamdi Kanu. I have serious support for young people. I participated in NSAS, which happened not too far from here. And so these are elements in society that society cannot ignore. And anybody who is fighting for these persons are persons who are willing to make the kind of sacrifices we need in government. Because he could have opted to be a government lawyer and be making money. There are Shiites who are police officers, soldiers. The Minister of Education is a Shiite, Adamu Adamu. But I don't know his kind of Shiite.
I have this question. Yes. You have, do you think sometimes your words come across like threats? Like you made a statement that when I come in, I'm going to abolish NBC. Now, people who have parents who work there, do you think they would love to vote for you, looking at some of these circumstances as well?
If you have parents who are working at NBC, I don't think you'll be proud of them. Because the NBC is standing in the way of freedom of speech. I went to Ghana, Accra, one day. There are 14 radio stations in Accra alone. And they speak in different languages.
Yes, Twi, yeah.
One day, a taxi driver forgot to collect, fares from me because he was phoning and he told me, I said, why are you all interested in radio? You don't even call it. He said, it was the amount of voices that are on radio are able to express themselves that didn't allow Ghana to go into election crisis in 1 year because they could speak out their minds. He said, otherwise, we would have been like Kenya, where there was a crisis that led to people even being sent to the International Criminal Court because of election violence. Nigeria has 200 million people. We don't even have radio stations enough to cover 10 million of them. And you are there telling people, oh, you can't say this, you can't say that. The saddest part about the NBC is that the people who are writing you letters are threatening you and who are curtailing your rights to freedom of speech themselves don't understand radio. They don't understand freedom of speech. They don't understand the media.
You don't think some people take advantage of it? Like, I give you an example, what happened in Rwanda. Yes. It started from the radio. You don't think the NBC is trying to protect these kind of... Like, I stayed in the Southeast. I worked in the Southeast for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And when the IPOB situation came up, some people took advantage of it, and it cost them something as well. But don't you think that sometimes not maybe keeping a balance would cause us a problem?
You see, let me explain to you. There were over 10 African countries that went into war in the 90s. All of them had one radio station and TV station controlled by the government. Because there's no avenue for expression. People have pent-up anger. They can't express it. Even the Rwanda case we're talking about, it's the Interawe. It's the government radio station that started the war.
Yes.
You understand? It's, the NTA has been lying to us, false news, since God knows what. And you don't accuse them of false news. I told Lai Mohammed at a conference one day at National... No, he wasn't there, some government officials. That when you come out on NTA and say that the economy is doing well, you are dissipating false news. Because what is on the street is contrary to that. And they couldn't defend it. That was how we were able to solve the problem of the bill they were going to make at that time that never saw the light of the day. And of course, they capitalized on NSAS to go after social media. The other part is that you are regulating few radio stations. When are you going to start regulating Facebook? As I'm talking to you now, we are broadcasting through Facebook. There are probably, I've counted over 1,000 radio stations on Facebook run by Nigerians. Some of them have more listeners than most of you who are conventional radio stations. What are you going to do about them? And some of them are in their basements in America, UK. That's how they propagated IPOB. When they said they shut down IPOB transmitters, they went online. So you have to just ensure that you are living with the times. But the other good news about it is that the multiplicity of these outlets are also helpful in regulating it. It's self-regulating. I was in media for, since 2006 I started Sowore, but I had the Sowore FM radio at the point, I had all kinds of media platforms, all fused together. And I discovered that the place we get the most regulation from are the commentators. If you lie, they will say you lie. Some will unfollow you. Sometimes they'll campaign against you. Those ones regulate you more than NBC. Are you getting my point? So it's for people who are our leaders to understand that so many of them are living in the past. And this is why we always call for digital leadership in the country. Because our leaders, we are in a digital race and our leaders are in the analog times. We have to reconcile that by electing, and appointing new people. And getting rid of...
Okay, not abolishing it, but...
No, I'm not only talking... It's not a threat. I will abolish the NBC. It's not necessary anymore. I've also spoken about getting rid of one of the arms of the National Assembly.
We stand away from this conversation.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm a presidential candidate.
Yes.
I'm allowed to tell people what I will do as president of Nigeria.
All right. So, Omar,
it's not subject to what
before
NBC
your question.
can
So
regulate.
there are a number of comments here. Biggie from Obanikoro says, "Good morning, great people. My name is Biggie. Thank you for bringing my newly adopted mentor, leader, and my president to your show. I've just had my haircut and I told them to name the style Showtime.
Nice.
Everywhere I go, I'm a proud
That's my style. That's my haircut style."
Another message, Osaz Mokoro from Idimu says, if not anything, sir, please do this one thing when you win, because I know that you will. Turn our Nigerian passport to the best passport in Africa, that other countries will stop maltreating us at their borders. I want to be proud of my country, and in you, I see that hope. Thank you.
Okay, seeing the hope in you, a lot of time we put the blame on the government. You as an activist, you've said you've fight for the government. Don't you think we have a citizenship problem in Nigeria? Because some of us don't pay tax. Some of us, there are something, we destroy government properties. So I want us, do you think the citizens are perfect? The government is the worst? Because that's most time the picture we paint.
No, you can't be blaming citizens. Citizens, leaders are people who are, saddled with public trust. So the moment you vote for a leader, your job is done. They are supposed to go and do what they are expected to do. When you talk about taxes, there is nowhere in the world that citizens like to pay taxes.
Yeah, even in America.
Exactly.
But you have to force it.
Yes.
But citizens destroy government
it's the
property.
job of the government to collect taxes. But you discover that even Nigerian government doesn't like collecting taxes.
Okay, so let me hold your word for a second.
If people pay taxes, they hold the government more accountable.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, please. No. Yeah, just you do to call back. I want to ask Mr. Sowore a question, please.
Okay.
Please, sir. Our leaders, our present leaders, they always like telling us that the country is broke and all of that, and they keep on borrowing money and all of that. Now, the question I want to ask you, in as much as these guys always complaining that the country is broke, and they keep on borrowing money, and the senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and other representatives and the like, they are still collecting their normal salary, their normal allowances and all of that. Please, sir, as an aspirant, who you hope to become a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria,
I'm a candidate now, sir.
What do you have to say when you feel that the company of which you run or a country of which you run is not going well financially? If you become our president, would you like to cut the salary of members in the House and your own salary for our economy to move well? And
All right.
if yes or no, what do you have to say about this government based on this question I asked you, sir?
All right. Thank you very much, Cyril.
Let me just answer it in two ways. The country is not broke, but it's been bankrupted. Those are two different things.
Okay.
And the reason I say this is that if Nigeria is broke and it has nothing to offer, why would people be killing themselves to be president of a broke country? Look at the amount of investment, money that they are putting aside to be president. That means there's something there. Because Nigerian leaders or the elite, they will never go and invest in something that will not give them returns. The rate of the ROI in becoming the president of a country, the governorship, is big deal because the country is not broke. There is no president who has been governor of Nigeria a governor in the state in Nigeria, even the poorest state, that did not become a billionaire. So what is happening is that they keep creating the impression that the country is broke, so that they will not deliver on their responsibilities as leaders who have been saddled with doing all these things. Let me give you an example. Go to Sowore. Somebody can build a house that, if you tear it down, can be 20 schools, and they won't live there. They'll put the best toilets. Meanwhile, you need schools in their states. Put a German toilet there too now, so that the students can use it and it will look good. But you build a mansion. You build a mansion that is, they will even brag about it, that is the mansion, they bought the land for 1 billion, they built another 2 billion on it. They have mansions in Dubai, they have in America. But when your people then ask for schools, you say you are broke. They ask for water, you say you are broke. Where did you get the money to take care of your own personal interests? The second aspect of the question he asked is about cost. The cost of governance is too stupid. You understand? I will go after it, and one of the ways to go after it is to fix our constitution. That constitution is a fraud. We need a new constitution. It's a constitution that is making Nigerians. Nigerians need to make a new constitution. The Nigerian constitution made in 1999 has the introduction as "we the people." That's a fraudulent statement. Nobody was there when they made the constitution in 1999. It was the military that wrote the constitution. As a matter of fact, when Obasanjo was to be sworn in, there was no single copy of the constitution. Sowore, who was his Minister of Information, said they had to go and print a copy, rush to the swearing-in ground. And what I would do as an executive is to make sure that we maintain a unicameral legislative system. This double Senate is complete waste of time, waste of money, waste of energy. We have just, in the Senate, unofficially created a retirement home for former governors. Some of them are even collecting their pensions and most of these House of Reps members, National Assembly, they are contractors. When they say they are doing oversight, it's extortion. So we need to get rid of all these drain pipes, reduce number of ministries that have no value, and ensure that the NNPC becomes accountable to the Nigerian people. I won't make the NNPC a company as president. It should remain the company of the Nigerian people, where transparently we know how many barrels of oil we sell on a daily basis, where it is going, and reduce the overhead costs. The NNPC is a country within a country. You have to merge it with Nigeria. The NNPC has seceded from Nigeria since the 70s. So if you are fighting against Biafra secession and Odua, you also have to fight against the secession of the NNPC.
All right, so
it has become a country on its own that has seceded, and they didn't even fire a shot before they seceded.
The final question that I have for you today is: usually when you fight corruption, corruption fights you back, because most of the time the people are not ready for the change, because some people benefit from it. Recently someone tweeted and said Nigerians, when corruption suits them, they call it favor, God's favor. How do you deal with these people with this mindset as well of Nigerians waiting for God to bless them through government?
You see, largely Nigerians are not different from citizens around the world. There's a pipeline for supporting your citizens. If you're not available, citizens will look for a way to take care of themselves. That's why, Nigerians are prolific, as brilliant people that we are, because you can't cage a Nigerian in seeking for means of enrichment. But you ask yourself, why is it that the Nigerian, when they leave the shores of Nigeria, they are doing well? Those people who they say jackpot to Canada, they're already sending pictures back from the space. We are doing well. See how things are. And some of them were bankers before they left here. They couldn't even afford to live the kind of life they are living as people washing plates in Canada. Now, that should not be the case. People are constricted in this space. They are denied of their fundamental economic rights. They are bound to want to look for ways of means of survival. So that's because it turned the country into a jungle. It became an animal farm. There's inequality, and that inequality has created desperation. When we restore economic and social benefits to the people, you are going to see that there will be less of those. And of course, if other areas are functioning. Because you tell me honestly, if I work for 45 years and I'm at 60 and you don't pay my pension, what do you think I will do? I will have to figure out a way to cut corners so that I can at least live a bit comfortably. If I'm young and I'm in the university and you close my university for 6 months, I'm going to need to be doing something. So if a friend of mine tells me that there is a software that I can use to scam white people, well, I may not say that I'm doing that, but just to survive. It's not an excuse for,
I was just about
crime.
to ask that.
You understand? And that's why government should work. Huh? I tell people, I lived in America for 20 years. America is the most corrupt country in the world. In fact, they have the most corrupt street in the world. It's called Wall Street. What do? They just flip papers there. They call it stock trading. It's all fraud. But you know that what they are doing on Wall Street does not prevent you from riding on a good road, going to a good hospital, fairly good hospital, education. But even America, for me, is not the standard for real great standard of, like they don't have healthcare, for example. You go to school in America, you have to pay loans for over 30 years. Obama just finished paying his own after he became president and left. That's not my standard. The standard is a country like Denmark, Norway, where their oil money is saved and every family has a certain amount allocated to them, whether they want it or not. They even pay students to remain in school in Denmark. So that is where we should be, because we have had all this money stashed up in the hands of people. It's time for the people to use their money. I want to answer that last question about.
All right, so we're running out of time already, so
All
I'm
right.
guessing you did that real quick.
Yes.
All right.
That Nigerians, it is up to you to decide whether you want to be in bondage or not. If you decide that this is how you want to keep treading your life, the path is set for you. They are happy that you vote for one of them again. But you can actually make that change this time around by voting for someone that is not expected to win. Because already they have done their calculation. They've done elimination series. This ones cannot win. It's we that will win. And if we don't win, we have a leg in the race somewhere. That's a conversation for another political decision.
Yes.
Discussion in the future. Thank you for bringing
All
me.
right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Omoyele Sowore. Thank you very much for coming through. We truly appreciate that. But yeah, that's it pretty much.
Yes, that's it this morning. Thank you so much. And hopefully next time when we invite you, come on time. So we don't have to tip into another person's time, according to your words.
Just like you like your coffee. Hot, black, and sexy. The Coffee Gang on Hot 93.3 Lagos.